What's up, my brother, Swin of the Mother? Today's video is going to be about chasing a little less of women and more of chasing excellence. So what do I mean by that? I've noticed throughout, the last couple of years anyway, especially since I've been red pilled, reading the comments and fielding emails from people and taking coaching calls and all that sort of stuff, even in my patronage. I think guys spend a little too much time or focusing a little too much time in chasing women, chasing after love, trying to get her back. Why won't my wife have sex with me? All those sorts of things. And you guys have seen me make videos about topics like that in the past on the channel. And what I want to talk about right now in this video is it's almost as though men don't recognize that they need to put more value and more importance and time on chasing excellence. There's nothing that's more unattractive to women and even the world in general, society, than a rudderless guy. So, and I'm not just talking about excellence as far as monetary success either. I mean, yeah, sure, it matters. If you're getting credit card statements every month and it says on them that it's going to take you 77 years and cost you 25 times what you owe right now to pay off your debt, you've got a money problem, and that needs to be fixed. If you get out of the shower and you look down and you don't see your Johnson, that's a problem, and that needs to be fixed. So I'm talking about mind, body, spirit, soul, all that sort of thing. If you chase excellence as a man, it doesn't really even matter how blue-pilled you are. You can still do quite well with women. I mean, you will be spoiled for choice, although if you're lacking red pill awareness, you're still going to get hung up quite a lot. We can use Elon Musk as a very good example. I did a video on that a few months ago. I'll try to remember to put a card up in the top right. But basically, he's a guy that's chased excellence all his life. He's world class at what he does. He is essentially, the Batman / Iron Man of the real world, and has enough financial resources to fly things to the moon or Mars or whatever. So the guy, but unfortunately, he's also the same guy that's been married 3 times, twice to the same woman, was pining over a breakup to his ex, who was married, I think, to Johnny Depp prior to that, and he wasn't able to do the Model 3 launch correctly. So chasing excellence gives you the opportunity to choose from a larger pool, okay, like a larger dating pool, for example. And I just want to emphasize in this video, the significance and the importance, let's get moving here, of chasing excellence as a man to become the best version of yourself. And again, there's all kinds of signals and cues that you'll spot in your life. If you're paying close enough attention to things, then you'll start to notice it. Again, if you don't get out of the shower and look at yourself naked and think to yourself, oh yeah, I'd hit that, then why would you expect anybody else to want to be with you, sort of thing, right? The thing that guys got to understand with intersexual dynamics, especially with women and stuff like this, is that we already know that women are hypergamous by nature, and women's hypergamy dictates that they need to lock down and seek the highest provisioning, highest value male that their hypergamy will allow them to. So, for all those guys out there that, I've done videos. I think I did one for a guy once, his wife wasn't having sex with him, and if he was world class at who he was or is, he absolutely wouldn't have that problem. It doesn't mean that he still wouldn't have blue pill conditioning. So here's a very good example of somebody that's still fairly blue pilled, but world class at what he does. And you guys will all know his name. His name's Jordan B. Peterson. The guy has, he's more purple pill, blue pill sort of thing. He understands, female nature and male nature, but he doesn't understand it directly to his own circumstances. He's a guy that married his one-itis, the woman across the street. He also talks quite often, whenever he's given relationship advice, along the lines of negotiating when it comes to conflict in relationships, and especially negotiating desire. And we all know from the red pill community, especially the rational male work, that you can't negotiate desire in intersectional dynamics because it just creates resentment between the party that you're negotiating desire with. So he's a guy, again, he can stand up on a stage, he can fill an auditorium with tons of people that and talk about the Bible that not even a priest or could fill in a church for sermons and things like that. But because he's world class and he stands up on a stage, his wife admires him. If he didn't have that capability, if he didn't have those skills, because he might have very well gone through the same divorce machine in Canada that many Canadians do, that end up getting divorce raped. So there are imbalances and there are certain exceptions to the rule. But what I want to encourage you guys to do is to consider at least looking at this a little bit more, from the perspective of, am I world-class at what I do? If you're running a business, if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to get something off the ground, it's really hard. But it can open up a lot of doors. It can open up a lot of opportunities in many different areas, including the sexual marketplace, and giving you access to more and better and higher quality women. So what I'd invite you guys to do, consider that just for a moment, swallow, marinate on it. Sorry. Let's just say that. I'd love it if you could marinate on that idea just a little bit and think to yourself, is there anything that you can do to become a better version of yourself, up your game, increase your value on the sexual marketplace? Let's put it this way. If on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the very best version of yourself, I'm not saying compare yourself to somebody else in the world, okay? I'm saying your version. If between, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best version and 1 being the absolute worst, you're like a 6 or a 7 version of yourself, I'd encourage you to spend more time working on yourself, working on, your finances, working on the optics of who you are. Again, if you're not fit, get fit, pick up heavy shit, put it down, eat quality food, utilize discipline. If you're stuck in a dead-end job going nowhere, look for opportunities. If you're an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, pull the trigger, launch it, get it off the ground, start doing the fucking work, and you will be spoiled for choice. So I guess that leaves it at that for that video. I didn't want to pine on too much on the subject, but at the end of the day, what I want to say to you guys is put a little more effort into upping your game and becoming a better version of yourself, and put a little less effort on chasing women. Women will come when you are the absolute best version of yourself. If you're a 10 out of 10 on your own scale, you'll be the one that will be spoiled for choice, okay? Hope that video helps. If you want access to premium Patreon content, I do release more of my deeper, longer form content that is, of course, less politically correct because, we're in the YouTuberverse. So if you want access to that, link is below, pinned in the top comment. I'll also have it on the end card. And if you want to support me any other ways, all the other information is there. You can access my, top reading list for men. You can make donations by PayPal and so on and so forth. And if you need coaching on anything, guys, if you're stuck in anything in life, dealing with things like intergender relationships, divorce, trying to figure out your custody arrangements, trying to vet women for marriage, things like that. Or if you want to get a business off the ground and you want some advice, you can also book my time there. Thanks for checking out today's video. Have an amazing day. Peace.